Let me give a shout out to a newer listener of ours. His name is Davis. Davis told me how much he enjoys our podcast and our chemistry together. Davis is a new listener.
Shout out to you, Davis. Big ups. Thank you, sir.
I want to give a shout out to my cousin. He wrote in and he was like, he listens when he drives his truck. So he gave us a shout out because I had made a post on social media of our show. So he did write in. And also somebody shared one of our stories. And I commented, like, we talked about that on the Shiznit show. You late, listen to our show. And he was like, first of all, I'm a shithead. So how you think I even heard about this story? And I was like, oh, my God.
Do you remember which story it was?
It was the Black Spider-Man, the new Black Spider-Man. When the man with a broken hip.
Philly.
Philly. The Philly Spider-Man.
And I'm proud to say, I heard that story umpteen times in all these other, mainstream media outlets and radio stations, whatever. And
guess who had it first?
Well, not only that, there's some people that had it first, but nobody mentioned that he had a broken hip. Nobody, except us.
Well, we got the facts. That's why.
Except us. Everybody else left that out.
Yeah. We got the facts. So shout out Deshaun for that one. That was what's up.
Shout out. What's his name? Deshaun?
Deshaun. Yeah.
Shout out Deshaun. Thank you, sir.
Showtime.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you.
So in other news, y'all know I'm getting my renovation. My renovation is coming up.
Finally.
Oh, finally. So they came to my house. I've been having problems. My water won't stop running in my sink. My garbage disposal isn't working. And I've been finding mice in my house.
I feel like your renovation is like winter on Game of Thrones.
You see what I'm saying? That's how I feel. That's how I feel.
It's been coming for like 7 years.
That's how I feel. They made me take boxes when I went to go pay my rent on Friday. So I feel like, oh, okay, they coming. But they still don't have no specific date for me. She told me the 4th. Then when I went to go pay my rent, she was like, no, it's the 11th. And I was like, well, when were you going to tell me? Because the 4th is in a couple of days. I was getting ready to move for a week. Now you're telling me it's a whole week out. So then this morning, she came again because I've been having problems finding mice in my house, big mice hole by my front door. And I've been waiting for the maintenance people to come. She finally came this morning, and still the maintenance people were not with her. Very confused. What's happening? What's going on? Oh, we just want to tell you, give you this paper. You're not going to have any hot water while we're doing the renovations on the other side of the building next week. And we might have to put you out for another week. So not 1 week, but maybe 2 weeks.
Wow.
But we're going to let you know. When are you going to let me know? The 10th is next week. Oh, well, we'll let you know sometime.
Wow. We're being displaced, too, around the same time.
You see what I'm saying?
But
slumlord.
Only for 3 days. I don't have a slumlord to
All right, Chris, you are your slumlord.
Yeah. I'm my own slumlord.
You're your slum owner's lord. Yeah,
we're having the house termited.
Oh.
So California pests, we're not the only ones that have them, but we have it worse than a lot of places because the weather is so good. That's one of the downsides of having good weather, that the fucking termites thrive.
Ugh.
And so we have to get that done. And so we're going to be gone for like 3 days, but we're going to try to have it done so that it doesn't affect the show.
Yeah, I need you to have it done just in case I get displaced for X amount of days.
You need to sleep in the studio?
Exactly. I need to come sleep on the basement couch. That's all I'm saying. That's it. That's all I know. I don't know what I'm going to do. She threw me through a loop this morning.
Loop-de-loop.
Loop. Super loop.
Wow. All right, you guys ready to get into these topics?
Let's do it.
News and noteworthy. The Shiznit.
I really hate when we miss a week. It's necessary from time to time because life.
Yeah.
People
happens.
get sick, people die, people have vacation, people need a break, different things. But I just hate it because, well, for one, we only do it once. So when you miss 1 week, it seems like forever since the last time we were together.
That's true.
And it seems like we've missed all these things, and like people have been talking about stuff to death. And so we either have to pick and choose whether we want to still go over it, even though people have moved on from it, or, I kind of look forward to today. I kind of wish the show was every day.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it was every day.
Every day?
Yeah, every day.
You don't think we would run out of stuff to talk about?
Hell no. Because
never anything.
No, we would not. Actually, it would be easier to do the show, I think, every day than it would be doing it once a week. Because we wouldn't have to pick. There's so many things we leave out.
That's true.
There's so many segments. We have segments on this show that we haven't done in years.
Yeah.
Just because we don't have enough time.
Yeah.
But we could do, like instead of doing your segment every other week and Pip's segment every other week, we could do it every other day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That'd be hot.
Or every other,
Let us know what y'all think about that. Y'all want to hear us more?
Different things, you know what I mean? So anyway, First up is Eddie Murphy.
My man.
Eddie Murphy has inked a deal with Netflix for $70 million.
Wow.
And people, I'm surprised. The reaction from people is surprising to me. It's very mixed.
Well, it is strange. I mean, Eddie Murphy used to be
the man,
gigantic star who demanded these kinds of salaries from Paramount Pictures, and every picture he turned out was a hit.
Yeah.
And he's been in some big hits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute since he's done stand up. He's popped up here and there a little bit on the screen, but yeah, stand up it's been forever.
But see that him getting back into stand up though is an idea that is intriguing to a lot of people, because there are a lot of people out there now that are big stars who were influenced by Eddie Murphy.
Right.
Sure.
Exactly.
So he's like Richard Pryor was in his day.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, Eddie Murphy recently did a special with Jerry Seinfeld, Writing in Cars with Comedians.
It wasn't special, that's a series.
That's Jerry Seinfeld's series on Netflix, Writing in Cars with Comedians, and he had Eddie Murphy as a guest. And Eddie Murphy was talking about how he was afraid to come back to stand-up. He said he didn't want to, blah, 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 blah. But I guess just out of doing that, and Jerry Seinfeld was really encouraging him, like, you are crazy. You need to get back into stand-up. People love you. People still love you, which is true. And so I guess, boom, after I seen that, then I heard about this, and I'm very happy. I'm very excited.
It's been out there for a minute. When Eddie Murphy got I think the Mark Twain Award or something like that, he had hinted that that's what he was going to come back, and he's been putting his toe in it here and there, showing up to like very privately to clubs to do just like 5-10 minutes here and there, just to see if he still got it. People care.
Yeah, and to work the material, because that's the only way to get your act is to work it. You know, you have to go to the smaller clubs and things on the off nights or whatever in front of a live audience, and that's how they work it.
Yeah,
you know,
Eddie Murphy was on top when he was doing stand up. I mean, that is funny.
He's funny, and
because he knows how to do all those characters, he would what Mark Maron would say, he would people the stage. So there'd be all these other characters that were funny too, and he would just act them all out. He was a big influence on me.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what the outcome will be. I'm looking forward to it. I'm rooting for him because I'm a fan. I like him. I'm rooting for him. I understand some people saying who they kind of suspect or might not feel like is going to be successful, or kind of feel like, oh, he shouldn't. Because some people make the Jordan comparison. You know, oh, I didn't like watching Jordan play for Washington Wizards either. You know what? You need to go and look at those stats because Jordan on Washington Wizards was still dope. He was still dope. No, really, people. A lot of times our minds play tricks on us. Our memories play tricks on us. He wasn't Jordan in his prime. But if you go and you look at his stats compared to other players in the league, he was still a great player. Yeah. Like, he just wasn't. But anyway, in any case, I understand that, and I don't. But there's some people out there that it feels a little like hate. Like, nah, I don't want to see. And it's like, why you don't hate? Just like root for the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, root for him. You know.
Well, there's actually a whole set of grown-ups that don't know Eddie Murphy as a stand-up.
Right.
So they don't know what he got to bring anyway.
Very true.
And they're looking at his old stuff, which is, to me, still holds up. However, I'm from that time period, so I get all the references. I get everything that he's talking about during that time. And I find that even sometimes when I watch old comedians, even that they might be funny, some of the stuff they're talking about is not of now, so it's not as funny. You know,
it's funny that you mentioned that. We were at dinner the other day, some of my friends, we got together, and that came up, this whole Eddie Murphy topic. And what you just said, that's kind of my position on some of Eddie Murphy's older material. Now, I still think he's funny. I still like him. And it's just that in my mind, I had my favorite comedians, the pecking order. I had Eddie Murphy, and then I had at number 2, kind of tied for number 2, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. Okay, that was like the pecking order for me. And I felt like Eddie Murphy was far and above those guys. And then there was but then after going back and watching some Eddie Murphy stuff, I was like, still funny, but I like those other 2 guys better.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Like I still like him. He's still one of my favorites. He's still one of my top 5. But my memory, like I said, your mind play, my memory of it versus me looking at it now, it just, I just prefer their styles and their comedy over his. No shade. Still love Eddie. Still think he's great. He just, in my mind now, his order is not as high as it used to be.
Yeah.
And for me personally.
Yeah. I mean, you go back and you listen to the same jokes from the 80s, they're not going to resonate as hard with you as they are now in 2019.
So
I put Robin Harris up on that list.
I think it's definitely. And I feel like every time I listen to Robin Harris and Bernie Mac, whatever,
yes,
even though I know they still hit hard the same way they did back then, or nearly as hard. Nothing's going to be like it was the very, very first time, but about as close as you can get.
That Robin Harris, man, he just made me pee.
Oh yeah, you guys want to do top 5 right now? You guys want to do top 5?
I could do that.
Go ahead.
I don't know if
Go ahead, Pip.
I got Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock, Robin Harris, Bernie, and then I'll put Dave Chappelle at 5.
Okay. And so I'll go, and then you can go if you have a 5. Then okay. I'm gonna go Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock. To me, are tied. I can't choose which one I like better to those two guys. So those are 1 and 2. Then I'll say Eddie, and then was that 3? Then I'll do Bernie Mac and Robin Harris. He gets the 5 spot, and he arguably could go higher if he'd been around longer. You know,
the same top 5.
He wasn't, just different orders. But yeah, that's my top 5. Robin Harris, just because Robin Harris is kind of like the Biggie of comedy. Like he came and went real fast, hit hard, and then was taken from us before he got to do a lot. You know what I'm saying?
That's the worst part.
Yeah. So that's my top. You got top 5?
I'm gonna get y'all close to 5.
Don't you dare say Earthquake.
First of all, okay.
Do you know who you do? You
I
know
do. Of course, I know who Earthquake is.
My bad. I'm just asking.
And Bruce. Come on now.
Hamburger.
Okay.
What about hamburger?
Oh, don't do me. I was up late watching Comic View. All right.
Shoot, hamburger.
I'm gonna have to go with Dave Chappelle. I'm gonna have to go with some more. I love some more.
Some more is pretty funny.
I'm gonna have to go with Eddie Murphy. Okay. I'm gonna have to go with. I'm missing somebody I had in the spot right there. Eddie Murphy, Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac. Oh, what did I say first? I said Bernie Mac first? Bernie Mac was first.
I'm confused now at this point.
I am confused. Bernie Mac was first, then some more, then Dave Chappelle, then Eddie Murphy, then Robin Harris.
Okay.
There we go.
I'm glad you got some more in there. She's funny.
Yeah.
Well, she got a famous cousin too, right?
I don't know.
Like somebody, like a female, like
me.
her cousin is like also related to her, like somebody we know.
So she got funny blood.
Yeah.
See?
Runs in the family.
Yeah. You know what? I think it's funny that we didn't say like Kevin Hart or Tiffany Haddish or something like that.
You know what? I think they're talented, but they're not the best to me.
Yeah, they're not. They're not my top 5. Not even close. There's so many. There's comedians that like are not that well known that I would put like way above them.
I'd say the same thing. I mean, we talk about Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld clearly is a master comedian.
Oh,
like he is legit funny, and his jokes are solid.
Oh yeah,
but he's not my top 5.
Yeah.
He's not my favorite.
Yeah, I got you.
Same thing when we talk about Cedric. I think Cedric is fine. I just not my top 5.
Yeah, Cedric the Entertainer.
Right.
Yeah. One comedian I know who is not super well known, but Michael Collier.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my favorites, and
he's funny.
I kind of have a little personal affinity for him because he got famous on the boardwalk at a time when I lived right there at the boardwalk, and he and my brother were drinking buddies because there's this local spot down there called the Sidewalk Cafe. It's like the only sit down. Well, at the time, I don't know. I haven't been to boardwalk in years, but at the time it was the only sit down restaurant on the boardwalk and had a full bar. And a lot of locals would hang out there. So he would go and do his sets. And my brother after work. So he knew Michael from there. And I knew him just from, watching the show. And he's just like, he's done a lot of acting and different things. He's even been on Blackish or whatever. So, and I was just looking online trying to find some tickets to his one-man show he's got going on right now. He's got a one-man show called Michael Collier's Mama. And I saw some little clips from YouTube. I wish I had known we was going to talk about it. I would have had it ready to play. Maybe next time. But anyway, it seems hilarious because he's such a great entertainer and comedian, and he's very funny. And even when he was on and very smart. When he was on the boardwalk, one of the things, it was like his show was just so far above everyone else's. His show, even then, on the boardwalk, just a little free show, it was already like a real show. Like, like I was watching his one man, the little scenes from his one man comic show, and it immediately took me back to years ago when he was on the boardwalk and he had hair and all that. And I just remember how polished, his show was, and how he would incorporate